Hey you, my name is Thomas Scott Ridgewell and I am clinically depressed. I've already done a few videos on this subject which I will link to in the description below, but to recap, my experience with depression is a semi-permanent emotional numbness that strips away my motivation to do just about anything, even the stuff I'm supposed to enjoy, like playing video games and overeating. I love food. I take a fairly low dose of antidepressants to help me to control the unpredictability of my mood swings, but overall, depression is a fairly consistent aspect of my life, and that is okay. For now, it's a part of who I am. Maybe it always will be, maybe it won't, but for now, I'm just seeing how it goes. Now, onto the point of this video. A lot of people ask me how I get through the bad days, the days where the fog comes in real low, and the distinction between being sad and being depressed become painfully clear. The truth is, though, I don't have the healthiest coping mechanisms, and I'm fortunate enough to be self-employed, so I can take entire days off when I need to, so I'm aware that my advice may not be appropriate for everyone. However, you asked, so I'm gonna give it. Please do note that I'm not a mental health professional and just some guy on the internet with a mental illness. The following advice is based on my own personal experiences and may not work for anyone but myself. Please immediately contact a mental health professional if you're having thoughts of suicide, and always remember that YouTubers are in no way infallible or a valid replacement for trained experts. I wrote a little disclaimer. The first thing I want to say is it's okay to not be okay. There's no use in hating yourself for being the way you are. So step one is acceptance. Don't waste time beating yourself up for being broken because, for one thing, that's not going to make a lick of difference. You're depressed, and that's not a good thing or a bad thing, it's just your reality, so accept it, embrace it, and make a choice if you want to do something about it or not. This doesn't just go for depression either. If you want to change or improve anything about yourself or your circumstances, do it out of love for yourself. Give your future self the gift of a brighter tomorrow, because if you're deriving motivation from self-loathing, then believe it or not, that well can run dry. I mean, mine hasn't yet, but that's what they tell me. Step two is communication, letting those closest to you know what's going on. I know it can seem like you're bothering people, but in my experience, making people play guessing games or leaving them completely in the dark is infinitely more alienating than just saying, "Hey, I'm depressed, lol." Hell, if it helps, you can even use my color-coded system. Depression can feel very lonely, but it doesn't have to. If your support network knows what's going on, they can at most support you, and at the very least, remove that worry that your mental illness is eating away at your relationships by reminding you that they are still there. It's like my mum once said, people don't care about your problems, they just care about you. Step three to getting through the bad days is good old-fashioned self-care. Every single one of the following things is entirely optional, but they're all a step in the right direction. 1. Get out of bed. 2. Have a shower. Bonus points for grooming, like shaving and cutting your fingernails. 3. Put on some clean and comfortable clothes. 4. Eat some food and drink some water. Bonus points for eating food that's actually healthy. 5. Go for a little walk. Fresh air, sunshine, you probably need something from the shops anyway. 6. Clean your living space. 7. See if anyone wants to hang out, even if it's just to do nothing together. 8. Masturbate. Now, these little tasks may not necessarily clear the fog, but they are an arguably better use of your time than sitting around in yesterday's underwear weighing up the pros and cons of your continued existence. Also, this little routine often helps me tell the difference between whether I'm just feeling low or if I'm having a legitimate depressive episode. Step 4 is, if possible, taking an off day. Personally, I find that if I try to power through a depressive state, I can do more damage than good, and what might have been a one-day funk can evolve into a full-blown bedridden meltdown. Like I said, though, I am self-employed, so this is slightly easier for me to do than it may be for others. But again, if possible, there's no shame in taking a sick day. Mental illness, while not necessarily contagious like the common cold, is still a valid illness. Okay, so the final step is seeking professional help. Everyone is of course allowed to have bad days, but we do have a responsibility to take care of ourselves and try and put as much distance between said bad days as possible. So if you haven't already, please do reach out and try to get professional help. Book yourself in with the doctors, talk to a therapist, a counselor, or a psychiatrist, renew your prescriptions, or if things are really bad, don't be ashamed to reach out to a suicide prevention line. I'll include some information about that in the description, but if you just punch suicide into Google, they'll be pretty quick to provide you with the necessary contact information. So, that's my advice on getting through the bad days. Accept it, talk about it, and take care of yourself. Again, I'm not an expert, so please take my thoughts with a pinch of salt and always consult a doctor when possible. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Tom Scott, out.